Hello, I'm Andy, and I'm going to talk to you about what red moles or what black moles can do on your palms. It's never positive, it's always negative. A red mole brings about an overly daring to expose yourself to risk, whether in areas of health or mentalness or emotionalness. And a black mole simply means bad luck in any area of your life. It all depends where the mole is found on your palms. And I've given you now a diagram to look at, and I've shaded an area, and that area is called the Mount of the Moon, the mountain of the moon. And that moon area is all got to do with three areas of your life: how you approach your health, how you approach your emotional areas, how you approach your mental areas. It's a very important mount because it's very large. Firstly, it covers a very big area, and it normally will have tie up to the line in black, which is called the lifeline, the influence from there, and the line which I've drawn in red, which I've marked A, which is the line of mentality. The line of mentality has got to do with how you approach your love, romance, marriage areas, how you approach your business, job or financial areas, and how you approach your physical areas as well. Whether you care about it or you just don't care about it, or whether you expose yourself to physical risk in any area of your life. Now, I've drawn moles, red moles and black moles on that shaded area which is called the mountain of moon. If your mountain of moon is very swollen, it can mean three things. One is that your imagination will be very to the extreme, which is good. I find that many actors, actresses, entertainers of any kind, people who are in the business of imagination and creativity, they always have very high, nice mount of the moon. When the mount of moon is flat, it can mean firstly that the sexual energy in you or in the person would have been very depleted, either through illness or either through many other reasons like depression. And the other thing about having very flat moons is that the person just does not have the ability in all areas of life to push oneself forward. So it's a sign of a weakness. Now let's talk of moles. If there are black moles or red moles on this mount, it's not a good sign. If you're a woman, then firstly I worry about would be the health areas which are to do with the womb, the breast, and also the ovaries, and then also the stomach. And these are the basic areas I worry about. But they can also show, when these moles are seen on the mount, they can also show a tendency of temperament, easily intimidated, easily afraid of the responsibility, easily losing heart when difficult times come, having a very poor choice of a partner in marriage, having just a poor choice of being infatuated with jobs which you are really not good at, but because somebody else is successful, you want to do it as well. So infatuation can be seen by these moles as well. They are never a good sign. Now, if the mole is found on the red line itself, that's the line of mentality, that's very serious. It means that you can have very serious problems in any area of your life which will hit you very directly, which means that it's very powerful problems, whether in your marriage or romance, whether in your financial situations, whether in your area of health. Miscommunication, miscalculation, opening yourself to risk would be the norm. If it's a red mole, but I've never seen a red mole on the line itself, but if the red mole is seen near the line, then there's a danger of you exposing yourself to risk. Whether taking the risk, whether you're married and wanting to have an extramarital affair, that's a risk. In health, you might want to take risk. In jobs, you might want to take risk. So a red mole is always about over-daring and exposing yourself to risk, which can lead to difficulties as a result. But a black mole just means bad luck. So I consider black mole somehow more worrying than a red mole. Now I've drawn a red line which I've marked as B. That is called the Via Lascivia. It is the line of three things that can happen in the old age. Firstly, ill health. Secondly, finances running out or gone. And thirdly, loneliness, a sense of loneliness. If this Via Lascivia enters into the shaded area, then that's not a good sign, because it's going to make a big impact in your emotional life, in your financial life, and in your health life as well. If there is a black mole on this line itself that you have marked B, that's very serious. You really have to start saving. You really have to plan financial situations to look after your old age. You really have to worry that your old age can have health problems. That is if the black mole is seen directly on that line which I have marked B. If it is around near that line, that's bad enough already. So a mole seen whether red or black on that shaded area called the mount of the moon are very dangerous to have. The best way to find out really if it's going to be very serious would be one day to consult me. I will use your date of birth and your time of birth and look at your palms, and that will be a 90-minute session which we can do on Skype, in whichever part of the world you are. You will see my email address, you will see my Skype address, you will see my Facebook address on that page that you are watching the video. So get in contact with me and let me get your next 5 or 6 years. That's what I will focus on. Get your 5 or 6 years really up to mark, so that you can get the best 5 or 6 years in health, in personal happiness, and in job or financial or business areas. So do worry if you see a mole around that area. I look forward to your contact. Until then, thank you and goodbye.